could not work out our differences.
Oh, okay.
Excusez-moi.
Reloading.
Enemy spotted.
Last player standing.
Ah! Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chamber here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to max out your FPS in Valorant. Now, I feel like it's only suitable that I do a Valorant FPS guide. I mean, literally, I have a character in the game. Definitely based on me, right? So, yes, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get the highest FPS, lowest input delay, and also some important just things in general for any game, not just Valorant, to improve your FPS. So let's get right into it. Before we get started with the Valorant FPS guide, if you are not happy with your FPS still after watching this video, I'd highly recommend checking out my website and buying my service. So you just go to my website and hit PC optimization, and then it will take you to a separate website here. This will give you info on my service for $100. I will guarantee you get more FPS, overclocking your whole system and optimizing it as well. As you can see in Valorant, I was actually able to get 60% more FPS just by overclocking. So feel free to check it out. Link is down below in the description. So let's get started with some Windows settings. So the first thing I want to do is I want you to hit Windows key and R on your keyboard. You're going to see this little run tab right here. Just type in Control, and then you want to hit Hardware and Sound. You might be in like what's called I believe the small icons like this. Just hit back so you go actually to this panel. You want to hit Hardware and Sound, Power Options. Now, what you want to do is you just want to make sure you're not unbalanced or power saver. High performance and ultimate performance basically perform the same. Just pick whichever one you want. If you're typically, you'll actually have to like research how to get ultimate performance. It's not really worth it, to be honest. Just run high performance. You'll get these same clock speeds. I've seen balanced performance actually lower your FPS, and you have some clock speed issues. So just go to ultimate performance. Next thing you want to do, you want to hit Windows key and I on our keyboard. This will open up your Windows immersive control panel. You're going to see all of the Windows settings here. Update and security, delivery optimization. Turn this off. This is going to help a little bit of your internet stuff, and I've seen it before cause issues where it's like maybe you're trying to download an update and stuff. Just this will stop downloading updates, especially for other PCs on your network. After this, go to privacy, scroll down, background apps. Just uncheck this. Don't let apps run in the background. And also you want to go to startup. So we're actually going to want to click out again, hit apps, startup. And if you have anything in here, you want to turn it off. Turn off anything you don't use on startup. For example, let's say I don't know, maybe Discord if you don't want that automatically starting up. You might have some apps like I've seen Spotify, iTunes, Chrome, maybe like random stuff. Just turn all that off. Maybe like your mouse software, if your mouse does not have onboard profiles and you need it to set up your DPI, that's fine. But if you do not need it running, turn it off on startup, just so that you make sure it's only running when you need it. All right, now I'm on the actual streaming PC now. So you want to hit gaming in here. It's the same thing on Windows 11 as well. Windows 11 and 10. All these settings are the same on Windows 11 and 10. You want to hit Xbox Game Bar and turn this off. You do not want to use Xbox Game Bar. This is just like a clipping software. Use either like NVIDIA or AMD's clipping software, or use OBS actually. Then game mode, turn game mode on. It used to be bad. It's a lot better now. Game mode does improve your performance. Now back on the actual gaming PC. Now we're going to actually hit display. So all that we need to do here is we just want to make sure that we're on our set display resolution, which for me is 1920 by 1080. Hit advanced display settings, click your refresh rate, and make sure it is running at the highest refresh rate. This is a big deal. I've seen so many people running their high refresh rate monitors not at its native refresh rate. I have a 390 hertz. 390 hertz doesn't work. Just 360 hertz. Same thing. Same thing with this monitor. Make sure all your monitors are running at its highest refresh rate. This one's 240. So that is all you have to do for your Windows settings. Now let's actually go to graphics settings. So for my NVIDIA users here, you just want to hit beta and older drivers. You want to hit GeForce or whatever. If you have a Titan, first of all, wow, you have a Titan, that's cool. But just select whatever GPU you may have. Let's say I have a 3090 Ti. So make sure that Windows driver type's on DCH, recommended, certified for recommended/beta, search, and do 512.95. If you are interested in a little more in-depth NVIDIA guide, by the way, I do have one on my channel. Check it out. I'll leave like a link up in the top right of your video. But this driver is actually pretty good. You're not going to need like a best driver for Valorant. There's not going to be all the drivers should work. Valorant typically doesn't need like the most up-to-date driver just because of the updates and the very basic setup of the game. So 512.95 is a perfectly good driver. For AMD, just select which GPU you have. So I have a 6900 XT on here. Let's say I'm on Windows 10, and I would actually recommend 22.5.1, 22. Recommend like optional drivers. Sometimes might have issues. These recommended ones work amazing. This is the one that I've found just kind of works for me. Now for the NVIDIA control panel settings, go to your NVIDIA control panel and literally just follow these settings. The ones highlighted in red are the ones that you change. Just change them to what I've set, and then just copy all these settings and you're all good. One thing you'll also want to do is go back into Windows key and I system, this graphic settings, and you want to turn on hardware accelerated graphics scheduling like this. You'll have to restart your PC for it. This will give you a little bit more FPS. One thing as well, if you have variable refresh rate or G-Sync on either NVIDIA or AMD, I would highly recommend not using it, especially in this game. You'll have to cap your FPS to actually below your monitor's refresh rate by about 3 to 5 FPS. And in this game, you're able to pull so much FPS. If you have a 240 Hz monitor, but you're getting 600 FPS in game, you are literally losing half the frames there, which gets lower input delay as well as newer information for you, so you're able to easily and quicker react. For AMD settings, go to your graphics panel. So right click on, I don't have one. If you're interested in a more in-depth AMD video, I have one top right of the video. But just go to your graphics panel and select these settings. Vertical refresh rate always off. We want to make sure we're not using vertical refresh rate in here. Texture filtering, performance, tessellation, override, and turn it off. And that's all good. Now we can actually talk about the game. So we've launched Valorant now, and what you want to do actually is you want to hit settings. You want to go to the video tab here. You want to, so it generally see this. Make sure you get the correct monitor. So I have 1920 by 1080, 360 Hz, whatever you might have. It's all different. Limit FPS on battery. If you're on a laptop, this matters. If not, just turn it off just to make sure. FPS in menus. To be honest, I would highly recommend this. Just to make sure you're not heating up your parts when it's not needed. Limit FPS in background. That's fine. Limit FPS always. I like to turn this off, but if you are using G-Sync, so let's say you are, so for example, I have 360 Hz, so I'd have to do about 357. I typically do 355 just because to make sure it's never going to go out of that G-Sync range and go there. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I just like to hit 60 and turn it off. You can obviously switch to these. Tell me which one feels better. Locking your FPS might make it feel more consistent, which might be a bigger deal for you. But for me, I prefer to run unlimited and flex my high FPS. Now in the graphics quality tab, multi-threaded rendering, turn this on. If you have maybe a really low 4-core, 2-core, maybe turn this off. Do your testing on those. But for 95% of people I feel like that are watching this video, you're going to want to have this on. Material quality, set this all to low. Just set everything to low. Maybe texture quality at high. That might be good just to see. It might help character models a little bit, but for me it doesn't really matter. Turn vignette off. VSync always off, especially in this game. Anti-aliasing off. Anisotropic filtering off. Now, bloom, distortion, and cast shadows off. Now, sharpening could actually help and improve clarity. If most people are not going to be GPU bound in this game, so I would highly recommend just turning these on for these two. If you are an NVIDIA GPU, you'll see reflex here. I would recommend turning this on enabled plus boost for you guys. That's what I'm going to recommend. Stats, just whatever. Obviously, if you want to show your FPS and all of this, you can. FPS is nice. Packet loss is nice just to make sure nothing's going on. And your ping as well, network RTT. Now, a couple other things in here. So raw input buffer on. I found this makes it a lot smoother. What this does is this allows the game to directly connect to your USBs. It's not using the Windows driver to go through it. So it's just taking one less part out of the polling and connecting with your mouse. So this will help a little bit. Obviously, personal preference. I prefer it though. And voice is obviously just whatever you like. Obviously, there's no best audio sounds. No, enable HRTF. I do not like this. It's just 3D audio processing. 3D audio processing is just not that good in my opinion. Speaker configuration. Make sure it's always on stereo. That way you can hear left and right. Let's say, because if on mono you hear footsteps, you're going to hear it on both sides of your headphones and not where they're coming from. Stereo, they're going to. Now we're actually going to want to exit out of the game, hit exit, and then you're going to want to hit Windows key and R. On this, you're going to go back to this run tab we went on earlier and type in app data this time. Now you're going to want to go to, local, scroll down to see Valorant in all capitals saved. config. Now you're going to want to figure out which one this is. It is typically the top one, Windows. You want to open up these two. So right click and edit. You can open these with Notepad. Now I'm going to scroll down and you'll see these. So shading, foliage effects, texture, all these set to 3. You can actually set these to 0 and get a slight FPS boost. The one that I would actually kind of recommend maybe not changing is view distance quality. I've noticed in like the shooting range, if you go to the end where like the bot is and then you see the portal at the end, it doesn't really load in. So, but this does get fixed with view distance 3. For this video, I'm just going to set it to 0 if you are interested. This should not remove player distance though. Player distance will still be the same. So especially if you're stuck with a low FPS, set this to 0. And then on Riot user settings, let me just make sure. Nothing actually to do there. Everything else is just shown in the actual, all this stuff is shown in the game. Now what you can do if you want to make sure none of these settings are ever changed, you can highlight both these, right click properties, check read only. Now Valorant will never actually reset your settings. Windows client, there's nothing in there, it's just backup keybinds. And on this other one, there's nothing here. Now that is all that you need to do for Valorant to get the highest FPS. If you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button down below, subscribe. Let me know what games you want to see me increase FPS boost in and make a guide for you guys on. If you are interested in getting your PC overclocked, make sure you hit that link down below. Also join the Discord if you want more information. We're playing games in there, talking about hardware maybe, and it's a good place just to get information on PCs and how to get more FPS, overclocking, all that stuff. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.